In recent years, there has been growing interest in finding alternative meat sources that are more sustainable and environmentally friendly. One of these solutions is artificial meat, also known as lab-grown meat or cultured meat. In this video, we explore what artificial meat is, how it is produced, and whether it can be sold in supermarkets. Artificial meat is a type of meat produced by culturing animal cells in the laboratory. Instead of raising and slaughtering animals for meat, scientists take a small sample of animal cells and use them to grow muscle tissue in a controlled environment. The resulting product is similar in taste and texture to traditional meat, but is produced without the need for animal husbandry. The process of producing artificial meat involves several steps. First, a small sample of animal cells, such as muscle cells, is taken from a living animal via biopsy. These cells are then placed in a culture medium that provides the necessary nutrients for the cells to grow and multiply. Over time, the cells form muscle tissue that can be harvested and processed into the final product. To create more realistic meat tissue, scientists also use scaffolding materials such as plant-based proteins or edible polymers to support the growth and structure of cultured meat. This helps the cells align and turn into muscle fibers, similar to those in an animal's body. Recently, scientists have conducted an experiment that would be right out of a science fiction movie. They extracted DNA from a mammoth that became extinct about 10,000 years ago and combined it with genetic material from an elephant. The resulting DNA sequence was inserted into myoblast stem cells from a sheep. These cells divided into tens of millions of cells to form a giant mass of meat from which a meatball was made. Dubbed mammoth meatballs to generate interest, no one has yet dared to eat it. After all, we don't know exactly how our bodies will react to this experimental concoction. This experiment raised many questions. First and foremost, why a mammoth meatball was made in the first place. Another question is whether artificial meat will one day actually end up on our plates. The main goal of the company producing mammoth meatballs was to demonstrate the potential of meat grown from cells, artificial meat, as an alternative to animal slaughter. The mammoth was chosen because it was seen as a symbol of diversity loss and climate change. So why does the world need artificial meat? The climate crisis is forcing humanity to look for alternatives to the usual industrial methods. The meat industry is likely to be part of this change. Livestock farming accounts for 15% of greenhouse gas emissions, and 30% of the world's land is used for livestock-related activities. As a solution to this problem, tissue engineers are trying to produce artificial meat that resembles real meat. Although unappetizing at first glance, artificial meat could one day be a lifesaver in a world where our resources are running out and population and hunger are on the rise. Artificial meats are not yet ubiquitous, but they are already on some supermarket shelves. The first lab-grown meat was introduced in 2013 at Maastricht University with a hamburger made using bovine stem cells. At the time, this hamburger cost more than $300,000 to produce. But the researchers were soon able to bring the cost down to 11 Teuer für 36. The market grew much faster than expected. In fact, the idea is not new. In 1932, British politician and author Winston Churchill wrote in a 1932 article, "Within the next 50 years, the day will come when, instead of raising a whole chicken just to eat breast or wings, we will be able to raise only these parts in a suitable environment." While Churchill's time prediction was a bit optimistic, those days are now here. P.I. will artificial meat be sold in supermarkets? Artificial meat is an innovative technology that has the potential to revolutionize the meat industry in recent years. Grown from cells in the laboratory, it is offered as an alternative to the environmental and ethical problems of traditional meat production. So when will artificial meat be sold in supermarkets? As of now, artificial meat is still in the early stages of development and has not been approved for commercial sale in most countries. Some companies, such as Memphis Meats and Just in the U.S., are working to gain approval from the Food and Drug Administration, FDA. Singapore became the first country to approve lab-grown chicken meat in 2020. The European Union also expects to approve artificial meat in the coming years. One of the biggest barriers to artificial meat at the moment is its high price. Producing meat in a laboratory is much more expensive than traditional meat production. Therefore, for artificial meat to be consumed by the masses, its price needs to come down. Consumer perception of artificial meat is also an important factor. Some people may have prejudices against meat produced in a laboratory. In order to overcome these prejudices, it is important that the flavor and texture of artificial meat is close to traditional meat, and that consumers are given the right information. As scientific and technological developments continue, the price of artificial meat is expected to decrease, and consumer perception is expected to change. In light of these developments, artificial meat is expected to be widely sold in supermarkets in the next 5-10 years. As a result, artificial meat has significant advantages over conventional meat in many respects. With 78-96% less greenhouse gases, 7-45% less energy, 99% less land, and 80-96% less water, it has the potential to be a savior for our planet and all living things on it. However, as with any new technology, artificial meat raises questions. Many obstacles such as human health hazards and production costs, consumer perception, religious and ethical concerns remain to be resolved. Today, artificial meat is available in some grocery stores and served in some restaurants. But it will take time for all people to get used to the idea. Especially in Muslim countries, there are ongoing debates about the feasibility of consuming artificial meat. However, it is noteworthy that Muslim countries such as Qatar are investing in this technology. Artificial meat is a technology with great potential in many aspects. With the development and diffusion of this technology, it is expected to lead to a significant change in traditional meat production and provide many benefits. What do you think about artificial meat? Do you think it is harmful to human health? Please share your thoughts with us in the comments. As we come to the end of this video, we would like to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. We hope you enjoyed the content and information we shared with you. If you did, please click the like button below. Your positive feedback motivates us to create more informative and engaging content. Subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications to make sure you never miss a video. By subscribing to our channel, you become an active member of our community. Your participation inspires us to create more content that matches your interests and preferences. So thank you for being part of our community. Hope to see you in our next video. Take care and goodbye.